You need to have a go-to-market strategy, and it needs to be articulated and clear, and it needs to explain what channels you're going to be using to reach your market, who you expect to reach in those channels, what message you expect to be transmitting in those channels, and what sort of action or conversion you need from your customers in those channels. I mean, after all, if you have a great product and you have great customers, isn't that enough to build a successful business? And the answer is no, it is not enough. You're going to need some structured, repeatable, defined, managed way to get in front of new customers on a regular basis and to keep those customers in an attention economy focused on your product or service long enough to click the button or pick up the phone or send the email or visit the website or do whatever it is you need them to do in order to take the next step on the conversion journey. Failure to plan is a plan for failure. And a go-to-market strategy is something you should not be leaving the harbor without. The easiest answer, believe it or not, is to Google it, because go-to-market strategies are not in short supply and go-to-market learning is not in short supply. It's just that most founders don't ever bother to really study the topic, and that's much to their detriment. So start by becoming educated about it. If you're the CEO or the principal founder and you're mostly a product person, do not black box your go-to-market strategy to some member of your team. Stay involved, pay attention. You are the one that really understands, or should be the one that really understands, the value proposition of your product. And you need to understand how to position that value proposition for each of the people in each of the channels that your go-to-market strategy entails. So start with Google, YouTube your way to at least a moderate understanding. Then, of course, as we've talked about, balanced teams have somebody who's sitting in the chair called, let's take this thing to market. And then you, as a CEO or a technical founder, if that's your position, can work with that member of your team to really identify the channels, identify the messages, think about the demographics and psychographics of the customer in each channel, and then ask yourself how you're going to address that channel and how you're going to amplify your message in that channel. And don't forget to wrap some expectation in terms of performance metrics around your go-to-market strategy. Otherwise, you're not going to know whether or not you were successful. The biggest, most common error that you're going to see in this part of funding readiness is a complete lack of attention, an utter failing of attention by the executive team on how they're going to go to market. You can tell you're dealing with one of these teams when they have lists and lists of features and price points and benefits and no information at all about who their real customers are, what those customers' needs and motivations are, and how they're going to reach those customers, right? Because that's what you're really looking for. A product market fit is, I got a product or a service, I got a customer, they want it, I got to get a good product market fit. But even with a perfect product market fit, I can still fail if I don't understand how I'm going to go to market, how I'm going to advertise my product, how I'm going to position myself in the market. So that's the biggest error we see, is just kind of ignoring or black boxing the go-to-market strategy. One final thought, which is that going to market is usually a pretty good place to consider bringing in professional support. This is something that you can reasonably buy a pretty high quality level of professional support for without expending a tremendous amount. And you can even, if you have the resources, try a couple of go-to-market strategies at the same time so as to experiment and find out which is best or which vendor's best. So don't be afraid to employ professionals. Do know enough to inform their work. Don't black box it. Pay attention to it. It matters.